What's going on, witnesses? This is Digital Witness. If you have not been here before, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, comment down below if you like this video. But today we're just going to get into a little bit of some revelation and teaching of what I just had in my quiet time this morning. So let's get into it. So in this video, I just wanted to share a revelation I had this morning in my quiet time. It was pretty cool, honestly. It was actually in the Old Testament, which, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, the Old Testament, like, it's not like relevant today. Like, we have a new covenant with Jesus, like, and yeah, we do have a new covenant, but the Old Testament is still it's still so important to read, and it's the same God. Sometimes people think, oh, that was a different God, like different rules, different things, like. It's like, no, like God doesn't change, you know, like everything is the same. If you look at the New Testament and you bring those ideas and those values and the thing that it teaches, and you bring that back with that mindset to that Old Testament, you'll see so much of the same thing. If I don't write down my revelations, I literally will forget them in like a few days, and I don't want to forget them because they're awesome. God teaches amazing things, and sometimes they're so powerful that I have to write them down just to remember the little details that make them up. So basically, when I was reading this, I read the part of Israel coming out of Egypt, and basically they were free, you know, from Egypt, from the slavery they were in for hundreds of years. I got this revelation about being free, and sometimes I feel like we become free from something. So let's just say, for me, like worrying about money. You know, I'm a college kid, a senior, I already have loans out. You know, I need to buy a new car soon. You know, money can be a problem, but to me, I want to just give that to God because I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have anxiety about that. And I know if I trust God with it, it's going to work out. Like, literally, there's never been a time with money that I have trusted God and given and been just screwed from it. I've never had that one time. I become free from money. I'm like, whoa, God, this is amazing. You have generously given to me. I want to generously give to others, and just continuously doing that. All of a sudden though, after we become free from that, you're like, wow, this is great, God. But then all of a sudden, we have this other thing in our life that we become a slave to. Sometimes when we don't give up our whole self, we give up little parts at a time, there's still other parts in our life that we're still slaves to. So let's say that money I'm free from, but all of a sudden pride comes in, right? I'm suddenly a slave to that because all of a sudden I'm giving so generously that I become prideful in my heart. And I'm like, wow, God, I'm doing such a great job. Like, look at me, like, look at me. Like, I'm not saying look at you, God, I'm saying look at me, look at what I'm giving. So instead of being free from everything, giving up everything, say, God, like, I just want to live for you, I just want to love you, you love me, let's just stick with that. It's so simple. Instead, I get rid of this money problem and I come into this pride problem. And this is exactly what happened to the Israelites. They got free from Egypt, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, we want a king now. Like, we're free, we want a king. And it's, you know, the prophet's like, why would you want that? God is your only king. And they want to be like the other nations, and he's telling them, you're going to have a king, you're going to be under him, it's going to be, and he goes over all these things, that this is what's going to happen when you have a king. You're going to be like all the other nations, like, you are different, you have God as your king, you're one and only. And it's like, no, they want to come from this freedom that God just gave them, and now they want to be put under another authority, they're going to be a slave to something else. And I feel like we do this so much, and we can justify this too, like so much in our hearts, in our minds. We're like, oh, no, I'm not prideful. I'm just giving. I want God to see how amazing I'm doing right now. I want others to see so I can be an example. But God knows our heart, and I feel like we have to remember that so much, because we can easily be generous and but prideful in our heart. And we can easily be, well, I say this, like, we can be free from money, but really we're like counting the pennies at night, you know what I'm saying? God knows our heart. Be pure in your thoughts and in your actions, because if you're not, I mean, that's dead. Those works are dead, isn't it? It's rotten fruit. It may look good from the outside, especially to other people, but on the inside, it's, you know what's truly in your heart, and so does God. And we can see with Israel, they went back into struggle. They went back into slavery. Not to the Egyptians, but They went back into war, they went back into struggle. You know, like they could have had the promised land. That was back in the desert though. If they would have trusted God, that's a whole other thing. But if they would have trusted God right away, you know, they wouldn't have been in the desert for 40 years just walking and wandering. And that's honestly so amazing. Going back to that Old Testament thing with the New Testament, like the lost become found. Israelites, they were lost, like literally lost in the desert. And that's not for nothing. That's literally teaching us, like, if you don't trust God, you're gonna be lost. Like you can know that he's real. There's a difference between knowing him and knowing that he's real. The Israelites, they didn't know him. If they would have known him, they would have trusted him. And Moses was trying the whole time. You know, he's leading them, he's trusting God. But like if the whole crowd, if the whole body isn't working together to trust God, like it's going to be separated, it's going to be broken. And we can see that. I just want to encourage you witnesses, go out there, see what God's doing, trust him, let yourself be free of all things, just daily prayer, just like, God, I want to be open to what you have for me today. I don't want to worry. I just want to trust you with everything. I don't want to have anxiety. I want to be wise in your word, God. Like, teach me today. And that's what I get in my quiet time. That's why I go to God, because I know that he wants to teach me. He wants to meet me there. So I just encourage you guys, get into some quiet time today. Go after God. He wants to go after you so much. He loves you guys so much. So I just thank you for watching, and go be a witness today. We'll see ya.